Hello, thank you for joining me today. In this video, I'll be reviewing the Chitu Systems Filler Printer E1 Filament Dryer. And massive thank you for Chitu Systems for sending this over to me to test and review. Now, let's get on with the unboxing. Now, I got sent this months ago and I want to do a proper test. I didn't want to do it over a couple of weeks. I want to do this over months to see how it works, how useful it is. And I'll be honest, I've never used a filament dryer before and I was a bit apprehensive and thinking, do I need to use one? Should I use one? Does it make a difference? All those questions will be answered in this video. Now the box comes, well, the system comes really well packaged. As you can see, there's instruction manuals, there's the unit there itself, and it comes with 2 boxes. So this will hold 4 spools of filament. It is nicely wrapped, it looks shiny and brand new, as it should be because this is a new product. Yeah, and like I said, I wanted to do this over a longer period, not a shorter period, because when you look at these videos and look at these reviews or you buy the products, you know, people testing for a week, maybe a couple of weeks, but I want to do this over a long-term review. So this has been at least 2 months of constant use, and I'm gonna preference it and just say I like it. But there are a few caveats, but yeah, I do like this machine. It is reasonably built. The base is solid. This filament holder, I'm pulling off the tape, so when you get it, just pull off the tape. Those are there. Do not just use it straight off the bat. Please remove all the internal packaging, and yeah, it's straightforward. Remove all the sellotape and all that bit and you're sort of good to go. Now, getting this set up and ready to use, as you can see, the base is solid. It is very heavy. I don't know how much weight it is itself, and there are 4 vents, intake and outtake, well, you know, to heat it and air to come in. And this is one of the spool holders. It's solid plastic, feels really good. As you can see at the top there to the left, that is the moisture indicator, and it's got different percentages. Now these spools come off, and it does come not assembled, but pre-inserted with some silica, and these are reusable. This is where you're meant to place them, so it keeps the filament, when not being heated, in dry and not as full of moisture, and putting them in and taking them out is simple as that. This sort of spool comes off, more of a spinny bit of the spool, and this isn't motorized. If you do want to spin it around while it's drying, or you know, to spin it around to different sides, you do have to do that manually. This isn't a motorized spool, but it doesn't really need to be, because the whole point is to dry the filament, get it ready for use. And you can use this to print from, so there are holes at the top, and you can see where those rubber grommets are, that you can, you know, put filament through it and feed it straight into your printer. And it does come with nice PTFE tubes, so you can attach it and print directly from it, especially if you're using some of those more tricky filaments. It's a great way to do it, and that's why this has that spinning spool bit, so you can reel out. And those grommets I was talking about. The locking mechanism, it works. I'll be honest, this isn't, you know, this isn't a lock box. It holds the lid tight, unless you're hanging it upside down, which you're not going to be anyway. It holds it well, it's simple, and it comes with a power cord. I'm in the UK, so this is a UK power cord, and there are tons of this stuff. There are 8 of these filament silica things, and these are those PTFE tube I was talking about that you put into those rubber grommets, which allows you easy access to use this as a filament holder, so you can print directly from it. Now, going to what this is for. A filament dryer, if you don't know, is used to reduce the moisture in filament, and wet filament causes a lot of problems. If you use a thing like PETG, it will absolutely annihilate them, because PETG is hygroscopic. All filaments are, but it is a lot more than others. And water, when printing, as it heats through the hot end, the water molecules expand and pop, and one will reduce layer integrity, i.e. layer lines won't be as crisp, it won't adhere great, and you'll get a lot of stringing. And you may have heard of what stringing is. If you haven't, stringing is where you get that thread, spider webby like fraying sort of material all over your prints. It's wispy, it's annoying. Removing it is not the greatest or the easiest. You can use a bit of heat or light, but you're still left with filament spread across. And as you see, putting that PTFE tube in there, simple, you close it, it's good to go. So this is what a filament dryer is for, as well as maintaining it. So when storing filament, I just pile mine on a shelf. I try to pack up the bags, I try to keep the bags that they're in, put silica in it, and a filament dryer sort of saves you from having to do that. Obviously this only holds 4, you can buy more, which is great. And it just gives you that opportunity to do so. As you saw there while I was talking about these magnetic things that you place underneath, keep it sealed. So when it is on the filament dryer, you take them off like that and you pop it on top, and when you're not in use and you're just storing it, you can pop those magnetic seals back on, which hold it in place with really strong magnets and keeps it airtight so moisture can't get back in. And that is such a great way of doing it, and it holds on really firmly. I don't know what other filament products do, but this is a great ingenious tool. And I was saying, here are the sort of vents and intakes. There's little locking mechanisms there, there's little switches there so it knows which one, they're numbered 1 and 2. And here's the touch screen. There's an intake fan there, as you can see. Some wording. I don't know what those bits at the top are. Maybe it's used to be another model and they're using a different shell. You know, it works, that's all that matters, and it's blocked off. And you can see the vents here, and there's intake and outtake. It looks like there are latches you can to pull it off. I did try, I couldn't, but you wouldn't need to, I guess, unless something gets stuck down there for them. But don't worry about that, it is solidly secure. And it was, like I said, I was pointing just there at the 2 sensors. There's a USB-C port there. Now, this port is not for anything other than updating. Do not use this to power other things or power out. It does say that clearly in instructions. Do so at your own risk, but do not do that. This is for updating it if there is a firmware update, which is really good to have. And having a USB-C port is great as well. Or if they do other products that may align or connect with this, that may also be used for that. But for now, that is solely used for firmware updates. And yeah, this is a really solid, it does not move. It moved the mat, as you saw there. This is a weighty product. It will stay in place, which is really good to hear. Not so heavy that it's going to break a shelf, but heavy enough that it holds its own and it will stay into place, which is really good to see. It does not feel cheap, even though it is made of plastic, and those rubber feet hold it really well. Now I'm just going to plug in the pins and let's switch this on and see how it works. Now, switching it on, you will be presented with different languages. I believe it may be Chinese, and there's English. I speak English, so I will do that. Now, I am touching it gently. You push a bit firmer and it is a bit more responsive. This video does not show it in the greatest light, if I'm going to be honest. It does work. Like I said, this isn't your smartphone sort of responsiveness, but it isn't as bad as I'm doing here, because I'm doing it from an angle. I'm trying to look and press at the same time and film. Press a bit firmly, and there's different options. You can set it to preset, so you can set 1, 2, 3, or 4. So you can set individual dryers at different temperatures if you have a preset that you like, where it works well than others. And yeah, you can go through that in your own time, but read the instructions, just go. Now, when installing filament, I want to do a test with the filaments that I'm going to use. So I use silk, PETG, normal PLA, and matte PLA. Now, a good tip for putting it in is not just to push it through the holes if your filament has that. Most of them has some sort of hole to hold it in. Best way I found to dry it is to just attach it to the side and get a bit of masking tape. Do not use sellotape or a plasticky type of tape at all. One, the glue will leave a nasty mark in filament, and because of the heating temperature, it may start to stick to it, stick to the filament, stick to the reel, and that's just going to be annoying. So I just use masking tape on all of them. I use this Polyterra PLA. I will not print with that because I didn't want to do it with matte, because I don't really use matte filaments as much, well, this Polyterra type. So I do the ones that I normally do use. So just to be mentioned, this is Sunlu PLA Plus, Sunlu Silk, and I can't remember what the page is, but when I do, I'll get back to it. And yeah, it's as simple as popping in those wheels, popping in those silica so it stays in there. I read the instructions. It doesn't say not to put the silica in while drying. It won't cause a problem, because obviously it will dry out and revitalize itself, so to speak, once it does dry out. So that is absolutely fine. And it is as simple as that. It takes a few seconds to pop it in and it's good to go. Esun PETG, that is the PETG I'm using. And yeah, put sellotape there on the side with masking tape. I was going to put the Polymaker on, but I decided actually no, I'm not going to, just because its properties don't bode well for what I want to intend to use it for. And I will mention, while I'm doing this, I did end up using other filament, which you'll see later, to show you the testing and the difference between drying and not drying your filaments. Even though you see the silver, the gold and the pink, those aren't the ones I end up printing. I end up using a silver or orange and a black PETG, matte PLA, PLA Plus, respectively. Now, you can put either box on either slot, 1 or 2, doesn't really matter, but it does correspond to what you're going to dry. So remember what slots in box 1 and what boxes in slot 2, etc. As you see, it places it firmly. It's not locked in like it can't fall off, but those sort of guides hold it in place. And when switching on the unit, like I said, once again, you're presented with the options. There is that lovely, satisfying peel. I can see select 1 or select 2. You can set the temperature for each one. You can see the time. You can set your presets. Forget about the non-response touch. You can control the temperature inside, how long you want the screen off, which is really great. Shows you what firmware it's on, page 2, language, and you can also set automatic dry. Now, automatic dry I never did because I guess it detects the moisture levels inside and it just restarts and puts the machine on. I didn't use that. I tried it once and it worked well. It kept it, but I didn't feel it. Just, I'll be honest, it did a really good job. I didn't feel that I needed to do it, and you can see there the filament box automation tells you what it does and how it does it, which is really good, and it all identifies which box is in which. Now, when you press start, you're presented with the timer. It counts down, and you're good to go. I stop it just to show you what it looks like. Again, you have to do each individual box unless you set a preset. So I can set 1 to do both at the same time. But if you don't use a preset, you press one box. Number 1 or 2, then press start, and you can see it's got preset temperatures, so ABS, TPU, chips, PA, PC, PLA, and PET-G. For the purposes of all this, I'm using PLA and PET-G profiles. The silk I found dried better in the PLA/PET-G profiles rather than the ASA, and obviously because of higher temperatures, but it worked, and you'll see that later on in the video. Now, with all that being said, it dries well. One of the caveats, and which may not bother you or not, is the noise, and here is a sound clip of it. So that's the one on, and this is the sound with both of them on. Yeah, sounds quite noisy, but each to their own, I guess, and that's what it is. Now, here's an example of what wet filament looks like. Now, so I didn't dunk it in water, but I left it in a cold, dampish place with a lot of moisture. And yeah, this is what wet filament looks like. So this is a really extreme example of it. There's a lot of stringing. The layer line's okay, but you can see them. They are a bit more visible because they're not adhering well. And this is PET-G. This is how hygroscopic it is, i.e. holds a lot of moisture in the air, and it looks atrocious. And yeah, that's a test print from it. Now this is, I did other prints again, I dried it. Now this looks like after dry. They are a little bit different, the samples. The left side and the right side, as you can see, there are 2 different versions of it, but it's so much better. There is no stringing at all. The layer line adhesion is great. This is done at the same layer height. I did 0.2 millimeters. And I did 0.4 millimeters. I tried different models to see what it looks like. You can see the underhangs underneath aren't as bad as well. So there's PLA, there's silk PLA, and there's PET-G. The PLA is the black, the silk PLA is silver, and the PET-G is the orange color. Yeah, I know before I showed you different ones I dried, but I lost the footage, so I had to re-record it using other models and other filaments. But the results came out great, and that's ideally what the dryer does. It eliminates that stringing, as you saw earlier. And I know that was a really extreme case of it, but I wanted to show you the difference that drying filament does. With the PET-G, this one here, there is a little bit of stringing still. Don't know why that was, because you saw the other one, there wasn't much stringing, but yeah, you can see the back of my hand, there was just a bit of stringing, but it turned out well. And here is the really bad example. This is the difference between drying and not drying filament. And yeah, I'll leave you my final thoughts out of this. Now, this product is not for everybody. Like I said, I like it. I love it. I use it all the time when I'm printing out, and that's because I make products for customers and I do large scale stuff, and I need the quality to be great. And if you're in that sort of atmosphere and that's what you're doing, you're in that space and you're making products, yes, this is definitely for you. If you're just printing off the random stuff off the website and random little bits and bobs, you probably won't need it. But anyone doing this for a more than just a side passing hobby, this is you to get it straight away, if that makes sense. Well, thank you again for watching. Thank you for sticking around. Like I said, I like this product. I think you should get it if you're interested. There'll be links in the description below. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video.